Are you looking to get more visibility, more eyes on your business? Obviously, yes, of course you are, because that's why you're here. But if the answer is yes, which I'm assuming that it is, then this episode is for you. We are actually in part 3 of a series called The Business Reboot, where I'm walking you through the steps to get out of a funk, get your clarity on point, get new clients into your business, and fall back in love with the business that you've built. And in this episode, we're diving into all things visibility. I want you to amplify your presence because that is an essential part of getting you more clients, more money into your business, and ultimately helping you grow and get to where you want to be. One of my goals for you here in this Business Reboot series is to help you get new clients. During this series, I want you to see new clients in your business. That's my personal goal. So I think a big part of doing that is getting seen by new people, getting back in front of people who may have completely forgotten that you existed. Let's be honest, we do. We follow people and then we completely forget who they are and how they can help us. And I want you also building new relationships. So we're talking all about visibility here today. And we're going to be covering 3 different methods because I'm not going to have you just put all of your eggs in one basket in terms of getting visibility and getting seen and building your authority online and in person. I want you to have a diversified method for getting visibility. Okay, so let's dive into the first of the 3 methods. So the first method is content. Now, content is my favorite organic strategy of getting seen and generating new leads. I have never relied on Facebook ads in my business to get the majority of my clients. I've used Facebook ads from time to time. I've dabbled. I'm not against Facebook ads. But for me, I was able to take my photography business full time for years and years in my market in Maryland and not have to run Facebook ads because I could have content working for me to get my work, my portfolio, my message, and my brand in front of potential brides and portrait clients. And this worked for me so well. And it was really genuinely like my only option when I was starting out because I didn't have money for Facebook ads. There was just no way that I would be able to do that. So content is going to be a big part of the visibility strategy that I give to you today. I'm going to give you 2 other methods as well. But if you're not currently creating content in your business, it is time to start. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, content is not going out of style. Blogging is not going anywhere. Video is not going anywhere. And you are leaving so much potential money and visibility on the table by avoiding content creation in your business. And I will say that content does not have to be as elaborate and fancy as some people might make their content to be, right? So like I have a little bit of a production setup. I have some lights. I have some video. But there are people absolutely killing it with their content, just holding their cell phone out in their car, right? Like it does not have to be as intimidating. The reason why we still want to care about content is that search engine optimization is still so relevant for how clients are going to find us and book us. It's so important. Being able to rank in search still comes down to content for so many small business owners. Now, I have a search engine optimization expert on my team, so I am not that person, but I've learned so much from my team member, Eli, and he's told me if you're not blogging and if you're not creating content in your business, it is tremendously hard to rank for as many keywords as you could be if you were actually creating content and blogging, because Google just has less to see. They have less content that you've created. So the more that you can create content, it's not just about going viral or having somebody see and share and popularity being the goal. It is really about sharing with Google, like who you are and how you are an expert at what you do so that you can rank in search. So content is not just about creating more noise, right? Like a lot of times I think when we start talking about content, one pushback that I hear from a lot of my clients is like, I don't want to just create more noise. If that's you, I love that you're thinking that because you're right. You don't, because you're going to blend in. It's not going to be good. It won't convert. So put your content to the test. I think take perfection off the table here. Take it off the table. I'm not saying your content needs to be perfect, but it does absolutely need to do something for your business and add something to the person who's consuming it. One great way to test this is to ask yourself, would I care about this thing that I'm creating, like this video, this reel, this blog post, if I were my ideal client? Is it entertaining? Is it interesting? Is it helpful? Or is it all three? If it can be entertaining and interesting and helpful, then you have like the golden trifecta of content, right? Because people are going to stick around if it's helpful for them, and people are going to listen to you if it's entertaining and if it's interesting, like if you're bringing something different. Okay, the good news and the bad news to this, the brutally honest truth is that you can find out really, really quickly whether your content is doing those three things, whether it is being entertaining, interesting, helpful, any of those things, by simply creating content, trying things out, and then paying attention to what happens next. Looking at whether there's engagement, looking at the share rate, looking at the comments, any metrics that you have, because your reach right now, when we're talking about visibility, is more important than how many followers that you have, is more important than how many subscribers you have, is more important than any of that. Because right now we're talking about visibility. So we're talking about reach, we're talking about shares, we're talking about impact. So that's going to be your biggest test, is to actually start, but measure. I think a lot of times we're creating content, but we're not measuring it, or we're hyper focused on the algorithm and how that piece of content didn't work out. And then we're not actually creating content. It's like we need both. We need the creation, we need the measure, we need to put them together. Another way that you could explore getting visibility is through pitching. Now, pitching is when you share an idea for something with someone else. It could be a piece of content that you created that you want to share with them on their blog. Or maybe you are going to get in front of a whole new audience through a live video collaboration. I see creatives do this all the time. This works really beautifully in the wedding photography space, in the wedding pro space, really as a whole, is when two wedding pros get on an Instagram live together and talk about their expertise. They're sharing audiences in that moment. Both sides are getting notified in that moment. And it's such a really cool way to get both benefits for both people, to get visibility, create content, network all at the same time. So a really great example of that is like you could go live with an industry peer. But another photography example for this would be pitching your work to get published. Any kind of visibility that you would gain from pitching is what I'm thinking about here. So whether you could submit your work to get published, you could submit your work to be like a guest blogger. There are so many publications and even other small business owners who would love for you to share your expertise on their website with their audience. And the backlinks, the benefits, the visibility of this is so amazing. Like it's really hard to like explain in just one episode what the benefits are of getting in front of other people's audiences and pitching like this. So if you're interested in this, you don't know how to pitch, you are ready to just kind of cut down the time that it takes to put together a pitch, figure out like what are the ways that I could potentially pitch, check out Pitch Power templates. They are a complete, ready to go, proven template pack that I have in my business. And I'll have that link down below, or you can go to my website at joymichelle.co/pitchpower and take a look. You'll see a variety of templates for all kinds of amazing opportunities, including collaborations and giveaways and anything that you would really want to pitch for in your business. Included in Pitch Power, you will also get an exclusive video training for pitching and crafting powerful pitches that actually convert and help you to get visibility. Okay, so our third and final way that you can get visibility in your business that's a little bit different from the last two that I shared is networking and building relationships. And here's what I know. I know that social media changes frequently. I know the game of content has changed so much. Algorithms change. A lot of change is happening. But one thing I know to be a fact is that relationships will never go out of style. The relationships that you build, genuine relationships in your networking, are going to come back to you in so many incredible ways. And you can help them grow and they can help you grow. Sometimes the very best visibility opportunities will actually come to you through the relationships that you build in your industry. So this is something that I think is almost like an old school technique. It's like it's gotten this rap of like, oh, networking, like that sounds very like 2000s. But that's ridiculous, because building relationships is so relevant always and forever. And I will say this forever, the people that you know are going to help pull you to that next level. It's who you know as well as what you know in business. So a really fantastic way to build relationships would be to actually go to do something. So like go to a networking event, go to a business meetup, go to something in your community. Facebook is an amazing way to find out where are people hanging out? Where are the creatives? Where are the entrepreneurs? Where are the photographers? Like figure out your industry, go on Facebook and look around, because you may be very surprised. There are actually real life in-person meetups happening around you, I would bet. And if that's not possible where you live, then I would say ask someone to a Zoom coffee chat. Like when was the last time you asked someone to hang out for, 20, 30 minutes? Say, hey, do you want to hop on a Zoom call? I'd love to share what I'm doing in my business and what you're doing in yours. Worst case scenario, they don't want to. Ask another person. Keep asking until you make real, genuine relationships and friends. Another way to do this that's less time consuming than getting on a Zoom call is liking and commenting and sharing the posts of people who you want to build relationships with. Because let me tell you, if someone comments on all the stuff that I do for like a week, like I post a reel and I post a video and they say, hey, I listened to your podcast, and they genuinely leave a real authentic comment on my stuff, I'm telling you that person is top of mind. That person immediately is top of mind for me at whatever they do. If they're a copywriter, if they're a photographer, if they're a coach, and they've been cheering me on, not just saying like, this is great, but like genuinely saying, hey, I listened to this episode of yours, or whatever it is, you leaving a genuine interaction, engaging or sharing with something, I promise you it will stand out to them. And it really does go a long way to build community and build relationships, which is really what we want to be doing at all times in our business. So like a little bit of this all the time. So if it's been a while since you asked someone to coffee, you went to a networking event, or you just went on Instagram and said, I'm going to spend 10 minutes just cheering people on, like people that I would love to work with one day, that I would love to be on their podcast, or I'd love to get in front of their audience in some way, meaningfully interact with their content. It is free, and I promise you it works. All right, so those 3 visibility activities that you can start to weave into your content plan is to create content, of course, because I'm always going to tell you to create content. Number 2, pitch yourself for visibility opportunities. If you're not sure how to pitch, check out Pitch Power email templates. They're going to be in the description below. And number 3, build genuine relationships through networking. I don't even love the networking title, but building relationships I can get behind. Building friendships with fellow people that do what you do or serve the same audience that you do. It's always going to help you to rise together and really be looking for ways to help them grow too. This isn't just a what can you do for me? This is a mutual thing. Okay. Next week, we are going to be wrapping up this series. I can't believe we're already sitting right in our next episode. We're going to be wrapping up, but we're in a business reboot series. And our final episode next week is so juicy. We are going to be talking about data-driven decisions, making better decisions, measuring the success in our business. How do we actually know if what we're doing is working? How do we know what we should keep and what we should toss out based on the data and not just our emotions? How do we make those CEO level decisions? Well, we're going to be unpacking that next week. So be sure to hit subscribe and tune in next week for that episode. Thank you so much for joining me here in this business reboot series, and I will see you next week for our final episode. Bye, guys.